Ok.
Não, mas eu tô começando agora.
Mas aqui...
Oi, pessoal. Hi, everyone. I'm facing some technical issues here. So I started one live stream and then I stopped and I'm starting a new one again. I'm sorry if that caused any issues for you. So I think Rob is saying that's working. So, hey, yes, I'm happy to be here with you. This week, I had so many technical problems, difficulties. Okay, but it's okay, it's part of life, right? Internet life. Tudo bem, gente? Tudo bem? Oi, Jacob. Jacob, you are Shadow, right? Yes, Jacob. Tudo bem? Oi, Flor de Ouro. Oi, Marius, pardon. I love your names are so creative, guys. Tudo bem? So let me know if you can hear me and see me well. I'm so happy to be here today with you. It's been a long time that I don't teach a live class on YouTube. And today we will talk about vocabulary, more specifically about false friends or false cognates, which are those tricky words that look similar, very similar, both in writing and sometimes in speaking, pronunciation, but the meaning is very different. So they're very tricky, and sometimes even I make mistakes when I'm speaking other languages because of false cognates. So it is very important to learn and to talk about this so you know you are using the correct word. So as you see, I'll be speaking English in this class because there are a lot of beginners following me in this channel, and I cannot add subtitles in a live class, right? So I'll speak in English, explain everything in English, but I'll also be speaking a lot of Portuguese. I'll give you a lot of examples in Portuguese, and also I'm going to read your comments in Portuguese. So be ready to practice today. I'm going to ask you questions to encourage you to practice the vocabulary that we're going to study today, and I want you to participate in class in the comments, okay? I want you to write in the comments, and I'm going to read the comments as much as possible. It is very difficult for me to read all the comments and answer all the questions, but I'll do my best. I'll try to read as much as possible and answer all your questions in this class. Tá bem? So before we begin, I can see you guys are listening and seeing me well. Tudo bem, André? Oi, Jonathan, José, Mercedes, tudo bem? Chema, tudo bem? José Delgado, thank you so much for joining me today, guys. And okay, so before we begin our class, just a couple of announcements. The first one is that you can download the lesson guide for this class on my website. I wanted to share this screen with you today to show you the lesson, but I just found out right before the class that the program that I used to use is no longer available, which was Google Hangouts. It doesn't work anymore for live streams, so I cannot share my screen with you today. But so I'll just speak and also write some things in the comments so you can read. But if you can download the entire lesson on my website, go to school.speakingbrazilian.com and click free live classes, and then you'll find the PDF for download, okay? And the second announcement is that my courses are open for enrollment during this week. As you guys know, if you follow me for a while, you know that I don't open classes all the time. I work by myself, I work alone, so I cannot open classes all the time. I only have open classes every 3 or 4 months. And this class would be the last one I'll be teaching this year in 2019. So if you want to learn Portuguese with me, have like regular classes with me every week, don't miss this opportunity to sign up. I offer 2 courses, one for beginners and one for intermediate and advanced students with focus on conversation. So to learn more, go to my website, school.speakingbrazilian.com. Just click on the course that you like to learn more about and Let me know if you have questions. If you have any questions about my courses, you can ask me today. At the end of the class, I'll be answering questions, or you can always send me an email to virginia@speakingbrazilian.com. I answer all my emails. Okay, guys? Okay, that's it. These are the announcements, so let's get started. Let me see if I have more comments here. Will this stream be uploaded as a standalone video? Yes, this video will be available after the class on my YouTube channel, so you can watch a replay whenever you want. Okay, this is a great question, Ulisses. Oh, Vinícius, almoçando e vendo a live. That's good, Vinícius. That's great. Muito bom. Spartan says, o português é melhor que o espanhol. Oh, I love Spanish too. And they are both very similar languages. So if you know Spanish, learning Portuguese is much easier, especially understanding, right? Speaking is not that easy because the pronunciation is very different. Okay, so let's get started. So today we're going to talk about false cognates or false friends. So as I cannot share my screen with you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in the comments the names so you can read, okay? And I'm also, of course, I'm going to speak and I'm going to type in the comments so you can read the words and also the examples, okay? The first word is fábrica in Portuguese and fabric in English. So these words are similar, but they don't mean the same thing. Do you guys can guess the meaning of the word fábrica? Fábrica in Portuguese. So I'm going to type these words in the comments so you can read right here. So fábrica actually means, oh, okay, I lost it. Fábrica actually means factory. A fábrica is a factory. If you want to say fabric in Portuguese, the word is tecido. Very different, right? So fábrica means factory and fabric is tecido. Tecido. So this is a false friend because it is, these two words are very similar, but the meaning is very different. So fábrica means factory and tecido in Portuguese means fabric, okay? So I'm gonna give you a couple of examples and I would like to ask you a question so you can practice this word, fábrica. My question to you is, tem alguma fábrica na sua cidade ou estado? Is there any factory in your city or state? Try to answer this question in Portuguese. I'm going to type the question in the comments so you can read it. And I'm going to give you a few minutes to answer. Tem alguma fábrica na sua cidade ou estado? I'm going to give you a couple of examples using this word so you know how to use this word in a sentence. Existem muitas fábricas no estado de São Paulo. There are many factories in the state, in São Paulo state, in the state of São Paulo. Existem muitas fábricas no estado de São Paulo. There are many factories in São Paulo state. One more example, mais exemplo. O João trabalha em uma fábrica de tecidos. O João trabalha em uma fábrica de tecidos. You can read in the comments, okay, guys, what I'm saying. João works in a fabric factory. So here I use both words, fábrica e tecidos, fabric factory. João trabalha em uma fábrica de tecidos. João works in a fabric factory. You see how can it be tricky? So, answer the question. Tem alguma fábrica na sua cidade ou estado? I'm going to read a few comments. So let's see. Spartan says fábrica is also factory in Spanish. Great. Yeah, Spanish and Portuguese are so similar. A. Burton says, tem várias fábricas na minha cidade. Excelente. Graham says, no Queens, nós temos muitas fábricas no Queens. Perfeito. O Spartan says, sim, há muitas fábricas em Nova York. Perfeito. Exatamente. Very good, guys. So let's move on. You can keep typing in the comments. Let's move on to the next word, which is idioma in Portuguese and idiom in English. Idioma, idiom. The pronunciation is different, but the writing, the spelling is very similar. I'm going to type in the comments so you can see. Idioma, idiom. Idioma, idiom. So here, so I typed in the comments, the meaning of idioma in Portuguese is actually language. Idioma means language. If you want to say idiom in Portuguese, you have to say expressão idiomática. Expressão idiomática means idiom, e idioma means language. Okay, so I have one question for you to practice this word, idioma. Qual é o seu idioma favorito? Qual é o seu idioma favorito? What is your favorite language? Qual é o seu idioma favorito? Write down your answer in the comments. Meanwhile, I'm going to give you a couple of examples on how to use this word in a sentence. Eu gosto de estudar idiomas. Eu gosto de estudar idiomas. I like to study languages. Eu gosto de estudar idiomas. Mais um exemplo, one more example. O francês é o meu idioma favorito. O francês é o meu idioma favorito. French is my favorite language. O francês é o meu idioma favorito. E você, how about favorito? Write your answer in the comments. Let me see if there is more comments here that I can read. So I read this. Portuguese, so Spartan says Portuguese is older. Oh, you're comparing Portuguese and Spanish. Yeah, that's interesting. Portuguese is older. I didn't know that. A Mercedes diz, nós temos muitas fábricas em Nova York. Muito bom, Mercedes. Just pay attention to the conjugation of the verb. Nós temos. Nós temos muitas fábricas em Nova York. Lucretia diz, meu idioma favorito é português. Muito bom. Lucretia, the word idioma, even though it ends with A, is a masculine word. So you have to agree the possessive pronoun and the adjective with the word idioma. So it would be, meu idioma favorito é português. Meu idioma favorito. So the adjective and the pronoun has to agree with the word idioma, tá bem? Excelente. Spartan says, I speak French too. Great, that's great. Burton says, meu idioma favorito é português, é muito bonito para falar. Obrigada, muito bom. It makes me happy to know that you guys find Portuguese beautiful. José diz, idioma in Spanish and Portuguese, you write it the same way. Yeah, that's amazing. So many cognates between Portuguese and Spanish. There are so many. Spartan says, mais le portugais est mon préféré. Muito bom, o português é o seu idioma favorito. Gesine says, o francês é meu idioma favorito. Muito bom, Gesine. Favorito, porque a palavra idioma, because the word idioma is masculine, so you have to say idioma favorito. Idioma favorito, okay? It has to agree. What else? Damien says, o meu idioma favorito é alemão. Que legal, Damien. German. Eu também amo o alemão. Me too. I love German. I'm studying German, even though it is very difficult. Lucretia, entendeu? Perfeito. Graham says, português brasileiro é meu idioma favorito. Muito bom, Graham. Sparan says, meu idioma favorito é português e francês. Muito bom. So if you're talking about two, you have to make the entire sentence in plural. So, meus idiomas favoritos são português e francês. Ok? Mercedes, meu idioma favorito é português. Excelente, Mercedes. José, I heard if you learn Portuguese, you can learn French easily. Yes, they are actually Portuguese is not that similar to French as it is similar to Spanish, but there are many similarities too, especially the grammar is very similar. We have like the same verb tenses, so it helps a lot. It's much easier if you know one. I believe that if you know one Romance language, like Latin root language, it is not that difficult to learn the others. Of course, it requires a lot of effort, but you will understand the grammar and the rules much easier because they are very similar. Boris says, meu idioma favorito é macedônio. Uau, que legal! E espanhol. Perfeito, Boris. Damien says, is one of your videos in Zoom? There is a tartaruga for total, and cognate in Spanish is tortuga. I have never made a video in a zoo, but I made a video with where I showed animals in a park right here in Brooklyn at Prosper Park. And yeah, and I show a tartaruga. Tartaruga, total, it's cognate in Spanish. Yeah, tortuga, tartaruga. Yeah, it is very similar, a very similar word, which is a cognate. What else? Mercedes diz, o português é muito romântico. Muito bom. Great. Perfeito, guys. So I'm going to move on and then I'll go back to the comments later. I'm going to move on to the next word, which is lanche in Portuguese and lunch in English. Lanche in Portuguese and lunch in English. So what do you guys think that lanche means? It is not lunch. Exatamente, Jacob. Lanche means snack. If you want to say lunch in Portuguese, the correct word would be almoço. Almoço means lunch. E lanche means snack. Snack. Tá bem? So I have a question for you so you can practice this word. Você faz lanche entre o almoço e o jantar? Do you have a snack between lunch and dinner? Você faz lanche entre o almoço e o jantar? I wrote the question in the comments so you can read it. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples in Portuguese, how to use this word in a sentence, okay? As crianças levam lanche ao colégio. As crianças levam lanche ao colégio. Children take snacks to school, or they bring snacks to school. Próximo exemplo, one more example. Eu faço lanche todos os dias à tarde. Eu faço lanche todos os dias à tarde. I have a snack every day in the afternoon. I have a snack every day in the afternoon. So, write in the comments and answer this question. Você faz lanche entre o almoço e o jantar? Do you have a snack between lunch and dinner? Mas eu te mandei o link, você não pode postar?
O link é tudo gente. Eu não consigo postar link, mas se você postar o link, talvez dê.
Okay, just give me 1 second, guys. There are some people in another watching the wrong class, so I have to share the link with them. Just give me 1 second. So this is the link. Yeah, no, I cannot do this. Eles podem simplesmente ir para a página principal do YouTube e procurar. Eu não tenho como fazer isso agora.
Você não tem que postar o link lá, né?
Não, porque eu não tenho como pegar o link agora. Okay, guys, I'm back. Okay, I actually got the link. Just give me 1 second. Keep writing in the comments, and I'll be right back. So this is the other. There are people who using the wrong. So this is the correct link for class. Comment. Okay, so now I'm back. So I'm gonna read your comments now. Lucrecia diz, depende, se eu tiver fome, eu farei um lanche. Perfeito, Lucrecia. Jacob pergunta, so it's more correct to use fazer rather than comer with the noun lanche? It is much more common, yes. We usually don't say, we use the verb comer when you say the name of the food. Por exemplo, eu comi chocolate. So I had a chocolate. Then I use the verb comer. But if I use the other words like lunch, dinner, we never use the verb comer. So fazer lanche, almoçar e jantar. We never say eu como lanche, eu como almoço, eu como jantar. I mean, you could say, but it's not that common. It's much more common to say fazer lanche, almoçar e jantar. Tá bem, Jacob? Samia says, treinando um pouco o meu inglês aqui. Muito bom, Samia, perfeito. Spartan says, sim, acabei de fazer lanche. Muito bom. Mercedes diz, estou desfrutando de um lanche neste momento. Perfeito. O Ken says, eu nunca faço um lanche entre as refeições, pois eu acho que não é muito... não é muito saudável. Oh, unless you eat something healthy, if you eat just a fruit or something, it could also be called a lanche. Tá bem? Gesine says, eu faço lanches muitas vezes durante o dia. Perfeito, Gesine. Eu também. Eu preciso de muitos lanches durante o dia. I don't eat much at once, but I need a lot of snacks during the day. Kema says, eu esqueço de fazer um lanche alguns dias. Yeah, that happens, Kema. Muito bom. Que mais? Oi, Jéssica, tudo bem? Bem-vinda! Se você pudesse falar, as crianças pegam lanche em escola? Austin, I think in this case, as crianças fazem um lanche na escola, like they have a snack at school. Eles fazem um lanche. Usually with the verb fazer is the most common way of using this word, lanche, with the verb fazer. Eu acho que lanche não é importante com lounge. I didn't get that, Graham, sorry. Didn't understand what you mean. David says, I was able to click. Oh, okay, great, David. I'm sorry about that, guys. I had another link and then I had to create. It didn't work. I had to go live using another link. I know it is confusing. As I said in the beginning of the class, I had many technical issues this week. I had another class with problems too, but okay, I'm glad that I'm here today with you guys. Ok, what else? More comments. Isaac, assistindo seus vídeos, eu aprendo português e inglês ao mesmo tempo. Que bom, Isaac. O Spartan says, meu lanche favorito é a fruta. Eu gosto de mangas. Muito bom, Spartan. Manga é minha fruta favorita. Manga is my favorite fruit. Mango. Em português, manga. Mark says, love your YouTube channel. Thank you. Obrigada. Jantar is dinner. Sim, exatamente. Spartan. Jantar means dinner. Yeah, Jacob says that's very different from English and easy to make that mistake. Yeah, it is. So many expressions and words that we use with different verbs that you would use in English. That's very confusing. More confusing than the cognates, I think. Isaac says, eu cozinho almoço. Muito bom, cozinho, Isaac, cozinho with N, H. Eu cozinho almoço. Burton says, você pode falar lanchar igual ao jeito que os brasileiros falam almoçar? Sim, you could say lanchar. You can use the noun lunch as a verb. You could say, eu lancho todos os dias à tarde. It also used, ou eu vou lanchar, but it feels to me that is less common. I think fazer lanche is more common than the verb lanchar, but you could use the verb lanchar. O Jacob says, eu faço um lanche entre café da manhã e almoço. Muito bom. That's good if you wake up early. You need to have a lanche entre o almoço e o café da manhã. Muito bom. Que mais? Great, guys. So let's move on to the next word. You can still type your comments about lunch. Você faz lanche entre o almoço e o jantar, do you have a snack between lunch and dinner? But meanwhile, I'm going to talk about the next word, which is legenda in Portuguese and legend in English. Legenda and legend. They are very similar. I'm going to type in the comments so you can read, especially the spelling is very, very similar. Legenda and legend. What is the meaning of legenda, guys? Jacob answered, and Jazini too. It means subtitle, right? Completely different. So every time you say legendas in Portuguese, you don't mean a legend, you mean subtitles, right? The ones that I have in my videos. So legendas. So legenda means subtitles. And how do you say legend in Portuguese? Is lenda. Lenda. Legend in Portuguese is lenda. A shorter word. So let's practice this word legenda. I have a question for you. Você assiste a filmes com legendas em português? Você assiste a filmes com legendas em português? Do you watch movies with Portuguese subtitles? Você assiste a filmes com legendas em português? Write a comment with your answer and let me know. Meanwhile, I'm going to give you a couple of examples how to use this word in a sentence. Todos os meus vídeos no YouTube têm legendas em português e inglês. All my videos on YouTube have subtitles in Portuguese and English. Todos os meus vídeos no YouTube têm legendas em português e em inglês. One more example. Assistir filmes com legendas em português é uma boa maneira de aprender. Watching movies with Portuguese subtitle is a good way to learn. Assistir filmes com legendas em português é uma boa maneira de aprender. So I wrote the examples in the comments so you guys can read. And now I would like to know, do you watch movies with Portuguese subtitles? Você assiste a filmes com legendas em português? Write your answer in the comments. I'm going to read a few of your comments, guys. I cannot read all of them, but I'm trying to read as much as possible. Let me see. Hello. Oh, Curitiba. Hello, Curitiba. Oi, Rob. Eu amo Curitiba. I love Curitiba. Okay, Jacob says, well known to anyone who watches Brazilian movies and has no idea what's going on without legendas. Very good. Okay, Chema says, eu assisto a filmes com áudio em português e legendas em inglês. Excelente, muito bom, Chema. Gesine says, sim, senão eu não entendo muito. Muito bom, Gesine. Spartan says, não apenas inglês. You only watch movies in English, is that what you mean? Kainazo says, eu gosto muito dos Anjos do Sol, mas eu o vi com legendas. Muito bom, Kainazo, mas eu o vi, tá bem? Pero lo vi, mas eu o vi com legendas. Graham says, sim, algumas vezes eu assisto filmes com legendas, eu preciso assistir mais. Muito bom, excelente. There are many videos, films and web series on Netflix. There are in Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese, guys, and you can watch them with subtitles. This is so useful. It's an excellent way of practicing Portuguese. You can go to we posted on our Facebook group, Speaking Brazilian Facebook group, a list of a lot of films and web series. So if you're in the group, you can go there and check it out. So you can practice Portuguese with movies. It's a fun way of learning, right? Que mais? What else? Jacob says, eu ainda preciso de legendas, então assisto com legendas. Tudo bem, Jacob. Faz parte do aprendizado, it is part of learning. Burton says, sim, assisto filmes brasileiros com legendas para me ajudar a entender. Muito bom, ajudar a entender. Excelente, Burton. Que mais? So many comments, guys. Thank you so much for participating so much in class. That makes me very happy, and I can give you feedback and help you improve your Portuguese. Ken Dennisman says, você precisa olhar para lendas no mapa se você quer procurar o lugar definitivo. Eu não acho que uma pessoa que aprenda um idioma deve tentar assistir vídeos sem legendas. I'm not sure what you mean with lendas no mapa. You mean legendas no mapa, right? Você precisa olhar legendas no mapa. Okay, very good. It is a little bit confusing here, your sentence. Você precisa olhar legendas no mapa se você quer procurar o lugar definitivo. Yes, it makes sense. It is legendas. E eu acho que uma pessoa que aprenda um idioma deve tentar assistir vídeos sem legendas. Yes, if you already can understand at least, I don't know, 60 to 80% of what is being said, watching movies without any subtitles, sem legendas, is also an excellent exercise, right? Just a listening exercise without reading anything. But then is the next step. You first start with subtitles, legendas, and then you move on to the next step without any subtitles, sem legendas. A Jéssica diz, não, porque não posso encontrar filmes do Brasil. Jéssica, I have to send you a list of the films that I know they exist in on Netflix. Could you do a video about tenses concordance? Yes, I can do that, Mel, later. It is a long subject to talk about this now, but yeah, definitely. Tenses concordance, you mean, I'm not sure what you mean in this case. You mean like agreement between verb tenses and pronouns, and yeah, I'll think about your suggestion and think about a good video that I could make using this topic. David says, sim, assisto a filmes com legendas. Perfeito, David. Gabriela diz, sim, eu assisto filmes com legendas. Os brasileiros falam muito rápido, é verdade. Jéssica diz, eu quero encontrar alguns filmes do Brasil. Perfeito. Alguns filmes, Jéssica, filme é uma palavra masculina, então alguns filmes. Muito bom. O que mais? I'm learning English and Portuguese at the same time. Eu assisto filmes em português com legendas em inglês e faço comparação. Perfeito! Great idea, Christian. Ótima ideia. Então, Jess. Ken says in English you say map, legend. That's why I use lendas. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know this expression, Ken. I never used this. List of Brazilian films on Netflix, please. Yes, guys, if you want a list of Brazilian films on Netflix, you can either go to my to my Facebook group and check the list that we posted there, or just send me an email. I'm going to email you the list. Okay, Virginia@speakingbrazilian.com, and I can send you the list. Jess asks, when do you use obrigada and when do you use obrigado? This is very simple. If you are a woman, you say obrigada. If you are a man, you say obrigado. That's it. Simple question. Okay, guys, let's move on to the next one so we have time to cover everything. So number 5, número 5. Livraria in Portuguese and library in English. Livraria and library. So these words are very similar, but the meaning is different. What do you guys think livraria means? It is not library. Livraria. Livraria. What does it mean? It doesn't mean library. It actually means bookstore. Muito bom, Jacob. Jacob is always the first one to answer. Exatamente. David, Burton, exatamente. Bookstore. So, uma livraria is a bookstore. E biblioteca is library. So, this long word, biblioteca, means library. Biblioteca. I'm going to give you a couple of examples, but meanwhile, I would like to ask you a question. Qual é a sua livraria favorita? What is your favorite bookstore? Qual é a sua livraria favorita? Write in the comments and let me know what is your favorite bookstore. Qual é a sua livraria favorita? So you practice how to use this word in a sentence. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. A Livraria Cultura é a minha livraria favorita em São Paulo. A Livraria Cultura é a minha livraria favorita em São Paulo. Livraria Cultura is my favorite bookstore in São Paulo. Next example. Eu gosto de passar tempo em livrarias. I like to spend time in bookstores. Eu gosto de passar tempo em livrarias. E você, qual é a sua livraria favorita? What is your favorite bookstore? Write your answer in the comments. I'll give you a couple of minutes to write your answer. And then, but meanwhile, I'm going to move on to the next word, okay? And then I'll go back to the comments and read a few comments. Palavra número 6, word number 6 is notícia, notícia in Portuguese, and notice in English. Notícia in Portuguese and notice in English. What is the meaning of notícia? It is not notice. What do you guys it is? Muito bom, Burton says news. Perfeito. So you have a competition here, Jacob and Burton, to see who is the first one to answer. News. Notícia means news. And how do you say notice in Portuguese? It is perceber. Perceber. So notícia, news, and perceber, notice. I'm going to give you a couple of examples using the word notícias, notícia. But first, you could also say notar as notice, depending on the case. There are different ways that you could use this word in Portuguese. But I have a question for you to practice the word notícias. And my question is, você ouve notícias no rádio ou na TV? Do you hear news on the radio or TV? Você ouve notícias no rádio ou na TV? I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to answer this question in the comments. And I'm going to give you more examples on how to use this word in a sentence. Você ouve notícias no rádio, is for você. But if you want to say for the first person, is eu ouço. Eu ouço, right? This verb is irregular for the first person. Eu ouço. I'm going to write in the comments. Eu ouço notícias no rádio. Eu ouço notícias no rádio. I listen, I hear the news on the radio. Mais um exemplo, one more examples. As últimas notícias sobre o fogo na Amazônia são muito tristes. The latest news about fire in the Amazon are very sad. As últimas notícias sobre o fogo na Amazônia são muito tristes. You can read my examples in the comments, and I would like to know from you, você ouve notícias no rádio ou na TV? Now I'm going to read a couple of comments. I'm going to go back up a little bit. Chema says, a livraria Lelo em O Porto é minha favorita. Wow, essa livraria é muito linda. This bookstore is so beautiful. Lelo, no Porto. It's really nice. Ken Deniston says, há tantas livrarias na minha cidade que ficam os meus favoritos. So, tanto faz. In this case, Ken, we would say, que são as minhas favoritas. There are many bookstores in my city that are my favorites. Que são minhas favoritas. So the word livraria is feminine, and so you have to agree. Que são minhas favoritas. Tá bem? Livraria do iTunes, o Burton says, muito bom. What else? Spartan says, minha livraria favorita é Barnes & Noble. Muito bom, eu também adoro a Barnes & Noble. Jazz Chronicle says, a livraria Foyles, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, é minha livra favorita em London. Que legal! Muito bom, perfeito. A Mercedes diz, minha livraria favorita é Barnes & Noble. Kainazo says, minha livraria favorita são os livros grátis na Amazon. I love that too. Eu também amo os livros grátis na Amazon. Graham says, sim, para mim também gosto muito de passar tempo na livraria. Perfeito, Graham. O que mais? O Ken says, eu já assisti as notícias boas na televisão. Perfeito. David says, minha favorita livraria é Strands, na rua 14, em Nova York. Muito legal, Strands é muito legal. We usually put the adjective after the noun, so it would be minha livraria favorita. Minha livraria favorita, and not the other way around. I know that in English is the opposite. What else? More comments. Okay, so Jesine says, eu ouço no rádio, muitas vezes BBC World Service, ou aqui na Alemanha eu ouço Deutschlandfunk. Que legal, muito bom. De Spartan says, eu ouço notícias na TV e no rádio, perfeito. Graham says, sim, as notícias, o fogo da Amazônia são muito tristes, sim. If you use the word notícias in the plural, then you have to agree the entire sentence, it has to be in plural, so as notícias são muito tristes, or a notícia é muito triste, tá bem? Muito bom. Mercedes diz, eu assisto notícias na TV, muito tristes as notícias da Amazônia. Muito bom, Mercedes. O Ken says, diariamente eu assisto, ouço as notícias na TV, TV is feminine, na TV. No entanto, também às vezes depende da fonte que eu prefiro. Muito bom. Da fonte. Fonte is also a feminine word. I know it is difficult to know it is feminine or masculine. I know it is hard to tell sometimes because it depends of the origin of the word, the etymology. So let's move on to the next word, number 7, número 7. Novela em português, and novel in English. This one is tricky, guys. What do you guys think novela means? And what do you guys think, how do you say novel in Portuguese? Novela, novel. Exatamente, David. Muito bom. So novela, it's a soap opera, right? In Portuguese, novelas are soap opera. And how about novel? Exatamente, Chema. Novel is romance. Romance. It doesn't have anything to do with romance. Romance is the name of a kind of a book. It's a book of fiction, a novel is a romance, not necessarily about romance, even though it could be about romance, but not necessarily. It is the word that we use to say a novel, romance. Então, novela, soap opera, e romance, the book, means novel. Tá bem? Então, vamos praticar. So, let's practice. I would like to know from you, have you ever watched a Brazilian soap opera? Você já assistiu uma novela brasileira? Você já assistiu a uma novela brasileira? Let me know in the comments. Meanwhile, I'm going to give you a couple of examples using the word novelas. As novelas brasileiras são famosas em todo o mundo. Brazilian soap operas are famous all over the world. As novelas brasileiras são famosas em todo o mundo. Mais um exemplo. Você já assistiu uma novela brasileira? Have you ever watched a Brazilian soap opera? So let me know in the comments. And meanwhile, I'm going to move on to the next word, which is parentes in Portuguese and parents in English. This one is so similar. Parentes in Portuguese and parents in English. What do you guys think parentes means in English? And what do you guys think, how do you say parents in Portuguese? Okay, so Jacob says relatives. Exatamente. Então, parentes means relatives. Relatives. And how do you say parents? Pais. Muito bom, Burton. You guys are fast. So, pais means parents. E parentes means relatives. Okay? So, let's practice the word parentes a little bit. I have one question for you. Onde moram seus parentes? Where do your relatives live? Do they live in the United States? Eles moram nos Estados Unidos? Do they live in Brazil? Eles moram no Brasil? Onde moram os seus parentes? Os meus parentes moram quase todos no Brasil. E os seus? So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Meus parentes moram no Brasil. My relatives live in Brazil. Meus parentes moram no Brasil. João é parente da Maria. So we also use this word to mean related. João é parente da Maria. So it can be a noun or an adjective, right? João é parente da Maria. João is related to Maria. Okay? Now answer this question. Onde moram seus parentes? Where do your parents live? Now I'm going to read a couple of your comments. Let's come back to the former question, which was about novela. And then I'm going to read your answers about parentes. Ok. So Isaac says, o romance que eu gostava era brasileiro, é chamado O Clone. Muito bom, eu nunca li esse livro, I've never read this book. Graham says, you mean novella, Isaac, or you mean romance? Because romance is a book. If you mean soap opera, then it is novela. Novela. Graham says, mesmo em francês, romance means novel. Exatamente. It is a cognate with a French. Jacob diz, nunca assisti uma novela brasileira. Muito bom, Jacob. Romance de amor, romance novel. Yes, I think that's correct, JR. Spartan says, onde posso assistir uma novela brasileira? That's a good question. I'm not sure if there is novela brasileira available to watch online. Maybe there is. I would have to check that out. If you go to the biggest website from Brazil called global.com.br, maybe you'll find some novelas available to watch, at least a few parts of it. Watching novelas is a great way to learn Portuguese, actually. I am not a huge fan of novelas because they are too dramatic. But to learn a language is actually good because they speak, colloquial language, and you can learn a lot from watching novelas, I think. So it's a good way of studying Portuguese. Tyson diz, assisti uma quando eu morava em Porto Alegre. Muito bom, Tyson. Em Porto Alegre is a city, so it doesn't have a gender. Em Porto Alegre. David says, sim, assisti porque minha esposa assiste elas. Perfeito. Burton says, assisto Porta dos Fundos no YouTube, mas eu acho que não é uma novela. Muito bom. Yeah, it is not called a novela in this case. It is like a comedy show on YouTube, programa de comédia no YouTube. It is very interesting. It's an excellent practice because they speak fast. Muito bom. Ken diz, a televisão na Turquia é cheia das novelas. Quando eu era criança, eu costumava assistir uma novela do Brasil que se chamada Escrava Isaura, que estava muito famosa. Muito bom, I remember this novela from when I was very young too. Escrava Isaura. Very good, Ken. What else, guys? Chema says, meu romance favorito é Jane Eyre. Eu só assisto a novelas quando minha mãe está em casa. Excelente. I love Jane Eyre. Is one of my favorite novels too. É um dos meus romances favoritos também. I've read it so many times. Graham says, meus parentes moram nos Estados Unidos e Barbados. So, United States, Estados Unidos. And it is masculine and plural, so you have to say nos Estados Unidos. Tá bom, Graham? Burton says, a maioria dos meus parentes mora na Inglaterra. Muito bom. Spartan says, meus parentes estão aqui no chat ao vivo conosco. Que legal. Perfeito. Fernando says, eu adoro as novelas brasileiras. Abraço da Bolívia. Que legal. Oi, Fernando. Tactic Hydro says, minha parentes moram em Bragança, em Portugal. Muito bom. Meus parentes, ok? The word parentes is masculine, so meus parentes moram em Bragança, em Portugal. Que mais? Fernando says, meus parentes moram na Bolívia. Perfeito. Okay, so Spartan says, I learned from the internet slang words are rather normal words in Portugal, like rapariga, girl, and bicha line. Yes, I have a video about the difference between vocabulary in Portuguese from Brazil and Portuguese from Portugal. It is a very interesting video. If you guys want to watch it, it's on my YouTube channel. Okay, great, guys. So let's move on to the last two words. You can keep typing your answers in the comments. Okay, the next word is number 9. Número 9 is pretender in Portuguese and pretend in English. Pretender in Portuguese and pretend in English. What do you guys think pretender means? It's not pretend. Muito bom, Burton. You are on fire. You guys, you and Jacob, intend, exatamente. So, pretender means to intend or to plan. Depending on the context, you can translate in different ways, but the idea is to intend. You intend to do something. Você pretende fazer algo. And pretend means fingir. Muito bem, Ken. Means fingir. So, very different, right? Pretender means intend or plan, depending on the case, and fingir means pretend. Tá bem? So very important to know that because the meaning is so different. Então vamos praticar um pouco. Let's practice a little bit. My question for you is: você pretende viajar ao Brasil? Do you intend traveling to Brazil? Você pretende viajar ao Brasil? Let me know in the comments. Você pretende viajar ao Brasil? Use this word to practice. Pretender. The verb pretender. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Eu pretendo viajar ao Brasil no próximo ano. I plan to travel to Brazil, or I intend to travel to Brazil next year. Eu pretendo viajar ao Brasil no próximo ano. Próximo exemplo. Meus alunos pretendem aprender português rapidamente. My students intend to learn or plan to learn Portuguese quickly. Meus alunos pretendem aprender português rapidamente. So write down in the comments. Você pretende viajar ao Brasil? Do you intend to travel to Brazil? And while you type your answer in the comments, I'm going to move on to the last word, which is puxar. Puxar in Portuguese and push in English. Puxar in Portuguese and push in English. They are so similar. I get confused with these guys. What puxar means? Exactly, Jacob, pull. Puxar means pull. And how do you say push in Portuguese? Push in Portuguese? Empurrar. Exatamente, Ken. Exatamente. So, puxar, pull, and empurrar means push. So this is very tricky for us Brazilians. I always do the wrong movement with when I'm trying to open a door. It's ridiculous. So my question for you is exactly this one. Do you get confused whether to pull or push doors? Você se confunde se deve puxar ou empurrar portas? Write your answer in the comments. Você se confunde se deve puxar ou empurrar portas? I'm going to give you a couple of more examples with the word puxar. O bebê puxou o cabelo da Maria. The baby pulled Maria's hair. O bebê puxou o cabelo da Maria. Devo empurrar ou puxar a porta para entrar? Should I push or pull the door to enter? Devo empurrar ou puxar a porta para entrar? So let me know in the comments. Do you get confused sometimes? Você se confunde se deve puxar ou empurrar as portas? Let me know in the comments. Try to practice these words. Now I'm going to read a couple of your comments. Let's go back a little bit. So, Ken says, sabe por que passo e finjo que não te vejo? A song says that, right? Passo e finjo, like I pass and I pretend that I don't see you. That's funny. Graham says, sim, eu pretendo viajar ao Brasil em outubro. Muito bom, Graham. Eu pretendo, with O at the end, viajar. Then we usually in Portuguese, when you use two verbs, the second verb, you don't have to conjugate, you leave it in its infinitive form. Eu pretendo, it is conjugated for the first person. Then the second verb, viajar, it is in its infinitive form. Eu pretendo viajar ao Brasil ou para o Brasil em outubro. Spartan says, sim, uma vez que salvar a Amazônia das queimadas. Yes, queimadas or do fogo. Muito bom. What else? Tyson says, sim, eu vou no fim do ano. Perfeito. Burton says, quando eu tenho dinheiro suficiente, vou viajar ao Brasil. Muito bom. Here you have to use subjunctive tense. Burton, quando eu tiver dinheiro, because we're talking about a hypothesis in the future, so we use subjunctive tense. I have a video about this on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Eu pretendo viajar ao Brasil no próximo ano também. Gostaria de saber mais das Minas Gerais. Ken says that. Muito bom, Ken. Perfeito. Minas Gerais é muito legal. Pankaj says, sim, eu pretendo assistir o filme Hollywood na próxima semana. Muito bom. Pretendo assistir. Chema says, eu fingia doenças quando era criança. Muito bom, Chema. Gabriela says, eu pretendo voltar para o Brasil algum dia. Eu adorei o Rio de Janeiro. Perfeito, Gabriela. Rio de Janeiro is so amazing, right? I love it. Gesine says, sim, eu pretendo viajar ao Brasil no próximo ano para ver meu filho e sua esposa. Que legal, seu filho mora no Brasil. Your son lives in Brazil, that's amazing. Christian says, eu pretendo fazer uma viagem de intercâmbio ao Brasil. Excelente. Burton says, eu pretendo viajar ao Brasil quando tiver dinheiro suficiente. Quando tiver dinheiro suficiente. Subjunctive tense here. So let's talk about push and pull, which is so confusing. Jacob pergunta, is the verb puxar related to the expression puxa or puxa vida that people use? I think it is, but I'm not sure. It is a very funny expression. Puxa vida. It comes from poxa. I have to think about it. I have no idea what is the origin of this expression. It is a very interesting expression. Poxa or puxa. You could say poxa or puxa actually in Portuguese. It has the same meaning. Poxa vida, puxa vida. I'm not sure it has anything to do with the verb, though. I would have to think about it. Que mais? O Ken says, me deixe em paz, não me empurre. Muito bom, ótimo uso. Eu esqueço de empurrar ou puxar as portas. Isaac, muito bom. Que mais? Pretendo viajar ao Brasil logo. Mercedes, muito bom. Manuel diz, gosto das suas aulas. Obrigada. Gabriela diz, sim, eu fico confusa entre empurrar e puxar. Eu vou esperar algumas pessoas passar pela porta e invitar o mesmo. Ótima estratégia, Gabriela. Excellent strategy to know what to do with the doors. Muito bom, guys. So that's it. I think it's almost time to finish the class. I would like to know if you guys have any last questions. It can be about this class or any other question. If it is something simple related to Portuguese, if it is something too complicated, I would rather prepare a video for you later. But if it is something simple, I can answer in class right now. So write down your question in the comments. I'm going to try to answer them. And meanwhile, think about your questions. If you have also questions about my courses, let me know. I can stay a couple of minutes to answer your questions, either about Portuguese, about this class, or about my courses, okay? So while you write your questions or comments, I'm gonna just remind you that you can download the lesson guide, the PDF from this class from my website, okay? school.speakingbrazilian.com. Click free live classes and you can download the PDF. So it's a very good review of the examples, and it is bilingual, both Portuguese and English, so you can practice and review the class. Also, second thing, important thing, remember my courses are open this for enrollment this week. This is a very special moment for me because I'm always excited to have new students joining my classes. I teach live classes with both video and audio every week, and all students join me with video and audio. So you practice conversation. I can answer your questions and give you feedback on your pronunciation. My classes are very good to really help you improve your Portuguese. It is very different from this class. You're participating not only with chat, but also video and audio. So this is very important for you guys to know about my courses. And one also important thing, this is the last class that I'm going to teach this year because I work alone, so I cannot open classes all the time. And so this is the last time that I'm going to open enrollment this year. And the next one will probably be either in January or February next year. So if you want to learn Portuguese, don't wait that much, just start today. So any questions about my courses, you can either go to the website to read more about it, school.speakingbrazilian.com, and then click the essential course for beginners. Is my beginners complete course. It's a 3-month, very complete course where I teach everything you need to know to evolve, to advance from beginner to intermediate level. And also my program for intermediate and advanced level students is called the Speaking Brazilian Academy. The focus of the academy is conversation. So you basically practice a lot of conversation and vocabulary. Okay, so go to my website or send me an email if you want to learn more, if you have questions, virginia@speakingbrazilian.com. Okay, I know I'm talking too much. I'm going to read your comments, guys, and try to answer your questions here. So, obrigada, aula ótima. I'm so glad, guys, you like the class. Obrigada. Thank you to be here, for being here. Spartan asks, você vai nos ensinar palavras de gírias também? Well, yeah, I'm planning to do a video about slangs, gírias, soon. I just have to find the right person to help me with that, because to confess, I'm not a person that uses slangs a lot. I use very few slangs. I'm very concerned about speaking a good Portuguese, so I don't use slangs that much. But I'm going to interview someone that's very good at it. So I'm planning to do that. So wait for it. What else? Professora, a huge thank you for everything you do. Your dedication is a real inspiration. Thank you, Jacob. Burton, depois do live vou assistir o vídeo sobre subjuntivo. Yeah, if you have questions about subjunctive tense, I have 3 videos about it on my YouTube channel. You can look for them. Present, past, and future. Very tricky verb tense. You have to practice a lot. Adorei, muito bom. So, Mercedes, what else? Questions, guys? Oh, so many comments. Okay. Grammar base of names. I have a suggestion. In English, the verbs with infinitive to are very different from those in Portuguese. Some are common, like start to do something and começar a fazer, but some are very yeah, well, in Portuguese, the infinitive, we don't have to, we don't have like a preposition in the front of it to show that it's in infinitive form. You know that is in its infinitive form, excuse me, because it ends with R, AR, ER, and IR. So we have 3 kinds of endings for verbs in its infinitive form in Portuguese. We don't have any word in front of it. We either in place of that, we have the ending is either AR, IR, or ER. But not all words that end with R are verbs. Okay, so you have to study to recognize which words are verbs. Flor de Ouro, when does the class start? So my classes begin next week. So it's very, very soon. Next week, on Monday, the students will have access to the content, to the modules, and the live classes, they are more to the end of the week, Wednesday and Thursday. But to join the class, you have to join until Saturday, because I'm closing enrollment on Saturday evening. Because I have to organize everything, all the classes, all the students. So if you want to join my class, you have to go to my website and sign up before Saturday at midnight, okay? So because I'm going to close the cards. What else? Isaac, adorei suas aulas, quero aprender muito mais. Obrigada, Isaac. So, Spartan, bom, boa. All mean good in Portuguese. The French influence is real. Yeah, we have all the adjectives. They have, not all of them, but most of them, they have the feminine and the masculine, and also feminine plural and masculine plural. So this word boa and bom, it is an adjective, right, which means good. In English, it's so simple. It's just one word. In Portuguese, we have bom, masculino, boa, feminino, bons, masculino plural, boas, feminino plural. So we have 4 options in Portuguese. I know it is a little bit tricky. What else? More questions, guys? Okay. De onde é seu sotaque? Vem de uma região específica? Thibaut is asking where my accent is from. Very good question. My accent is from so many places. I was born in the north of Brazil in a city called Teresina, is the capital of the state of Piauí. But I moved out of Teresina when I was 10 years old, and I went to the south, and I lived in Florianopolis, a very amazing island at the south, in the south of Brazil for many, many years, for about 10 years. And then when I was about 20, I moved to São Paulo, and I also lived in São Paulo for about 10 years before I moved to New York. So my accent is a mix of all these places. I think it is more from São Paulo today because I spent most of my adult life in São Paulo, right? But I still have a little bit of things from the south and the north. It's a mixed accent, it's a Brazilian accent, guys. What else? Graham, I really enjoyed the expressions in Brazilian Portuguese and Portuguese from Portugal. Muito legal. Yeah, nice. I'm glad you liked that video. It's a very fun video. Spartan says, certifique-se de gostar do vídeo, compartilhar. Yeah, guys, thank you for reminding me, Spartan. Don't forget, guys, to like the video and share with your friends if they are interested in learning Portuguese. Okay, and there's Brazilian Day Parade this Sunday. Oh, wow. That's going to be amazing. I don't like much to go to a place where there are many people, so I'm not a huge fan of parades, but I'm sure it's going to be fun if you like this kind of events, parades, and Brazilian parties are always a lot of fun. Muito bom, guys. Any other questions? But Virginia, how do you know which to use if you have the verb to conjugate? If you have no verb to conjugate boa or bom, tá bom, bom. Well, you don't have to conjugate the word bo or bom at all because this is an adjective. It is only used to talk about a noun. Por exemplo, este bolo é bom. This cake is good. Esta sopa é boa. This soup is good. It's only used to add a characteristic to a noun. It's not conjugated. You have another verb in the sentence, right? But when you're talking about the expression tá bom, this is an expression. It's not a complete sentence. It just means, oh, it's okay, tá bom. It's like tá bem, tá bom. These are just expressions. They are not sentences. So you don't have to conjugate anything. It's just tá bom. It is short for está bom. The verb is está. So, like está bom means, is it good? But sometimes we use it to say, is all right? Is everything okay? So it depends on the context. Yes, as Spartan said, tá bom means fine. Yeah, depending on the context, exactly. Muito bom. So guys, yeah, I think you guys amazing comments. Thank you so much for participating so much in class. If you don't have any other questions, that's it. I'm gonna finish the class. And don't forget to take a look at my courses. Enrollment closes this Saturday at midnight. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment later or email me at virginia@speakingbrazilian.com. I'm always available to help with the Portuguese. Tá bem, gente? Beijo grande e uma boa semana para vocês. Have a wonderful week and see you next time. Oh, I forgot to give you a very important announcement. Actually, I'm going to teach another live class on Saturday at 3 p.m. right here in the same channel. Saturday at 3 p.m. I haven't decided the topic yet. I'll think about and I'm open to suggestions. Tá bem? So see you Saturday at 3 p.m. here at the same place, but at different time, 3 p.m. New York time. Beijo grande. Tchau, tchau.